Good morning. Here's your U.S. news briefing for Thursday, August 6th. Indian journalist Tarun Tejpal sentenced to 10 years in jail for rape. Tejpal, who has denied the accusations, can appeal against the verdict in India's Supreme Court. $200,000 worth of supplies donated to PB schools. I've had to Botox my CV. Are AI recruitment tools affecting women's careers? Are AI recruitment tools disadvantaging women who are seeking to return to the workplace? OpenAI says Apple's trade secrets lawsuit is rotten to its core. OpenAI has asked a federal judge to toss out Apple's landmark lawsuit accusing the ChatGPT maker of stealing trade secrets, describing the allegations as meritless. In a motion filed yesterday to dismiss the complaint, OpenAI says that Apple is mischaracterizing both the actions of the AI startup's employees as theft, and generic product development information, and #8230. Suns keeping Brooks on 3-year, $73 million extension. Suns forward Dylan Brooks agreed to a 3-year, $73 million contract extension through the 2029-30 season, his agent told ESPN. Brian Cox, James Darcy among first guests on Rosie Fellner's Tea with Rosie podcast, exclusive. The actress and producer says her upcoming pod is about what happens when we follow the White Rabbit. Mfpen Copenhagen Spring 2027. Afghan boxer accused of killing Scottish aid worker back in court. Sharifa Madzai, who is 26 and from Afghanistan, faces charges of homicide with intent, robbery, and weapons offenses. Family throws surprise birthday party at Eagles tailgate for Vietnam vet. Cashing in on SpaceX, every chance I get, I'll sell a little more. Andre Lavoie joined SpaceX in 2009 as an engineer. Now he's looking to cash in his shares in the company. Elon Musk and #8217's attempt at an AI Wikipedia has an #8217 been updated in months. XAI's Growcopedia, an online encyclopedia with AI-generated articles that Elon Musk once promised would be a massive improvement over Wikipedia, apparently hasn't been updated since April 24, according to a report from Lawfare. As far as we can tell, no entry has changed in more than 3 months, Lawfare said. Messi goals help Miami start League's Cup en route. Lionel Messi scored a stellar pair of goals to guide his team to a come-from-behind 4-2 rout of Atlético de San Luis in its first game of the 2026 League's Cup. Isabella Rossellini on empty local cinemas and why she isn't leaving the U.S., for now, despite very bad political situation. The Italian-American actress, model and filmmaker also explained why I don't like TV shows after being honored with the Swissfest's Excellence Award the night before. 8 airbands that make the perfect weekend trips from London. From Cambridge to Brighton, these weekend trips from London are a convenient way to unwind. Book one of these cozy airbands to kickstart your trip. Iranian footballers who defied Tehran become Australian citizens. They were among 7 members of Iran's team to be granted humanitarian visas while in Australia for the Women's Asian Cup, but the other 5 changed their minds and returned home. Amid severe drought, Puerto Rico to begin rationing residents' water. Puerto Rico's government will begin rationing water on Friday as the island copes with its worst drought in more than a decade. Thousands of young people missing out on money they don't know about. People aged between the 18th and the 23rd of May have thousands in unclaimed government accounts. Get up to $400 off your TechCrunch Disrupt 2026 pass until Friday. Starting today, you can take an additional $100 off your founder, investor, or attendee TechCrunch Disrupt 2026 pass, which is a nice bonus on top of our current discounted pricing. Judge re-examined, says I'll be back this season. Yankee star Aaron Judge, who has not played in a game since May 31st, was cleared for light activity after he had his fractured rib re-imaged Tuesday and remains confident he will return to play this season. Isabella Rossellini talks lynch, green porno and how animals became her favorite muses. They fascinate me. Isabella Rossellini has received the Excellence Award at Locarno. The prize I and #8217 am receiving tonight is for excellence, which is something I haven't heard very often, she said during the opening ceremony. Feels like a steal. Shop Vogue favorite under $300 finds. Love a good fashion find? Same. And while there's plenty we recommend on a daily basis, what makes us play for keeps is in the name, when it feels like a steal. Gianni Infantino gets internal support at crisis meeting to remain as FIFA president. FIFA said Wednesday it had apologized for errors made over Gianni Infantino's failed plan to sell stakes in the World Cup and that senior staff in attendance at a crisis meeting in Morocco reaffirmed their full support for his presidency. CDC warns of salmonella outbreak linked to jalapenos. A salmonella outbreak that has sickened 345 people across 27 states has been linked to jalapeno peppers, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reported Wednesday. Traceback information found that the affected jalapenos came from Sinaloa, Mexico, and were distributed by Coast Citrus distributors. There have been no reported deaths and 36 hospitalizations so. Raleigh owner starts insolvency proceedings. Achel, based in the Netherlands, has owned the famous bike brand since 2012. Thousands of servers can be backdoored by exploiting buggy motherboard controllers. Baseboard management controllers from the world's biggest manufacturers are a security mess. Movie camera Ted Lasso filmed at real NWSL club. The new season of Ted Lasso was filmed in the US at a real-life NWSL club for a cameo that serves as a key plot point of the show. Odd Slice Films boards documentary Concrete Land ahead of Locarno premiere, exclusive. Boutique sales company Odd Slice Films has acquired worldwide rights to documentary Concrete Land, the debut feature of Palestinian-Jordanian director Asmahan Karat, ahead of its world premiere in Locarno Film Festival and #8217, as Semaine de la Critique. 20 backyard wedding dresses for the laid-back bride. Celebrating at home? These backyard wedding dresses embrace the bucolic setting, from designers like Danielle Frankel and Markarian. Air India's new CEO faces financial and safety turbulence. The aftermath of last year's deadly crash and mounting financial losses will be Jebra Mariam's main challenges. Multi-state cyclospora outbreak expands to 15 states. The Food and Drug Administration on Wednesday expanded its investigation into a cyclospora outbreak linked to recalled iceberg lettuce, after the first 2 deaths associated with the outbreak were confirmed. The outbreak, which was first identified in July among people who ate shredded iceberg lettuce at Taco Bell restaurants, has since widened to more than. Winemakers prosper but veg farms wilt in the drought. Growers in the west of England search for new crops to grow in a changing climate. Ex-product chief Nikita Beer is leaving after 1 year. Ex-head of product Nikita Beer is stepping down and says he will move into a role as an advisor, writing that it's time to pass the torch and demote myself to my natural state, a poster. He shared the update just over a month after celebrating his 1-year anniversary on the job, and hashtag 8230. Jamalan's second youngest to win WSOP main event. Lucas Jamalan, a 22-year-old poker pro from Spokane, Washington, beat Finland's Lauri Saskalati heads up to win the 2026 World Series of Poker main event and $10 million. Revolutionaries Never Die is a cinematic homage to Lebanese filmmaking pioneer Jocelyn Saab. Palestinian filmmaker Mohamed Yaqubi discusses his Locarno premiering archive film and the striking resonance between her historical depictions and our contemporary realities. The Devil Wears Prada 2 fashion to hit the auction block in September. Ever wanted to steal a look from The Devil Wears Prada's Miranda Priestley, Andy Sachs, Nigel or Emily? Now you can. Outrage as Ugandan football captain beaten to death in street gang attack. The 27-year-old was killed by suspected robbers after resisting an attempt to rob him, police say. Vance says El Sayed has no constituency among the working class. Vice President Vance on Wednesday said progressive Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed's Democratic primary victory in Michigan was driven by affluent liberals rather than by working-class voters. In an interview with Fox News' Laura Ingraham a day after El Sayed defeated Representative Haley Stevens, Democrat Michigan, in the primary, Vance said the increasingly growing progressive wing of what's causing record-high U.S. beef prices. The meat has never been more expensive, due to supply shortages, but no one is making more money. Nikita Beer steps down as X's head of product. The serial entrepreneur is stepping down a little over a year after taking the 24/7 job of overseeing X. Infantino sorry for errors but gets FIFA backing. FIFA said Wednesday it had apologized for errors made over Gianni Infantino's failed plan to sell stakes in the World Cup and that senior staff in attendance at a summit held in Morocco reaffirmed their full support for his presidency. Craig Russell stars in British action thriller The Priest as Cornwall shoot raps, exclusive. Craig Russell stars as a former operative hiding behind a dog collar in hashtag 8220, The Priest, and hashtag 8221, a British action thriller that is finished shooting on location in Cornwall, UK. The film marks the featured directing debut of Will Saunders. Pisces Daily Horoscope. February 19th to March 20th. Meta becomes latest firm to say its AI hacked another company. Meta is the latest company to disclose an AI agent breach, raising cybersecurity concerns. Strait of Hormuz fight continues to evolve with Iran-Oman talks. Welcome to the Hills Defense and hashtag 038, NatSC Newsletter, Beacon, Defense and hashtag 038, National Security Defense and hashtag 038, National Security and hashtag 8202. The big story Strait of Hormuz fight continues to evolve with Iran-Oman talks. An emerging deal between Iran and Oman could lead to the biggest concession yet given to Tehran in its control of the Strait of Hormuz. Amir Ossian. That's your briefing for today. Have a great day.